Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. Myself, Assistant Professor Deepa Agarwal from ITCS department. In this video, I am going to explain you advanced Java topic, that is Servlet Lifecycle and API. And this topic is for TYIT semester 5 students and SYCS semester 4. So we'll see what is servlet lifecycle. When the servlet is deployed in the server, the servlet container creates a lifecycle of the servlet. The following steps show the different methods used in servlet lifecycle. Loading the servlet class, creating servlet instance, init method, service method, and destroy method. So loading the servlet class, when the web container gets the request from the browser for servlet, then servlet class will be loaded. The web container creates an object for the servlet when servlet class is loaded. Here the important point is an object and will be created in lifecycle only once. Init method, this method will be called by the web container after an object was created to the servlet. The functionality of the init method is to initialize the servlet. Following is a regular syntax to declare the init method, that is public void init servlet config throws servlet exception. Service method. The service method will be called by web container when servlet will have the request. In case servlet is not initialized, then above method will be utilized. In the life cycle of servlet, this method will be utilized only once. And this is the syntax of service method: public void service, servlet request and servlet response throws servlet exception and input output exception. And next is destroy method. Web container is the responsibility to call this method utilized while vanishing an object of the servlet from the service. It provides the chance for servlet to clean up the memory or junk data. Following is the syntax: public void destroy. Now servlet API. The servlet API provides interfaces and classes that are required to build servlets. These interfaces and classes are grouped into the following two packages, that is javax.servlet and javax.servlet.http. The javax.servlet.http package contains interfaces and classes that are responsible for HTTP requests only. And the javax.servlet package contains many interfaces and classes that are used by the servlet or web container. This package includes classes for communicating with the host server and client, servlet request and servlet response, and communicating with the client, that is servlet input stream and servlet output stream. Now we'll see what is servlet interface. It is an interface to define a servlet. The implementation classes of this servlet should override all methods of servlet interface. Servlet interface needs to be implemented for creating any servlet. It provides three lifecycle methods that are used to initialize the servlet, to service the request, and to destroy the servlet, and two non-lifecycle methods. And these are the methods of servlet interface: public void init, which initializes the servlet; public void service provides response for incoming request; public void destroy is invoked only once and indicates that servlet is being destroyed; public servlet config gets servlet config, returns the object of the servlet config; and last one is the servlet public string get servlet info, which returns information about the servlet such as writer, copyright, version, etc. Now servlet config interface. An object of servlet config is created by the web container for each servlet. This object can be used to get configuration information from web.xml file. If the configuration information is modified from the web.xml file, we don't need to change the servlet. So it is easier to manage the web application if any specific content is modified from time to time. The core advantage of servlet config is that you don't need to edit the servlet file if information is modified from the web.xml file. And these are the methods of servlet config, that is get init parameter, which returns the parameter value for the specified parameter name; Get init parameter names, which returns an enumeration of all initialization parameter names. Get servlet name, which returns the name of the servlet, and get servlet context, which return an object of servlet context. Now servlet context, an object of servlet context is created by the web container at time of deploying the project. This object can be used to get configuration information from web.xml file. There is only one servlet context object per web application. If any information is shared to many servlets, it is better to provide it from the web.xml file using the context param element. Advantages of servlet context: easy to maintain. If any information is shared to all the servlet, it is better to make it available for all the servlet. We provide this information from the web.xml file, so if the information is changed, we don't need to modify the servlet. Thus, it removes maintenance problem. Servlet context interface. There can be a lot of uses of servlet context object. Some of them are as follows. The object of servlet context provides an interface between the container and servlet, and it is used to get configuration information from the web.xml files. And servlet context object can be used to set, get or remove attribute from the web.xml file, and it can be used to provide inter-application communication. And these are the different methods of servlet context, that is get init parameter, get init parameter names, set attribute, get attribute, get init parameter names, remove attribute, and get server info. Now servlet request interface. This interface is required to provide client request information to the server in the form of content type, content length, parameter names and values, header information, attributes, etc. And these are the methods which are as follows: get parameter values, get parameter names, get content length, get character encoding, get content type, servlet input stream, get input stream, public abstract string, get server name, which returns the host name of the server that received the request, and public init get server port, which returns the port number on which this request was received. Now servlet response interface. The servlet response interface defines an object to help a servlet in sending a response to the client. It has various methods that help a servlet to respond to the client request. The methods of servlet response interface are: public void flush buffer, it forces the content in the buffer to be written to the client. Public init get buffer size, which returns the actual buffer size. Public strict get content, which returns the content type used to send this response. Public print writer get writer, which returns the print writer object that can be used to send character text to the client. Reset method, which clears the buffer as well as status code and header data. Set buffer size, sets the specified buffer size for the body of the response. Set content type, which set the content type of the response being sent to the client. Now we will see the generic servlet class. Generic servlet class implements servlet config interfaces. It provides the implementation of all the methods of these interfaces except the service method. Generic servlet class can handle any type of request, so it is protocol independent. You may create a generic servlet by inheriting the generic servlet class and providing the implementation of the service method. There are many methods in generic servlet class, which are as follows, like service method, destroy, init, and get servlet name. Servlet input stream class. It provides an input stream for reading binary data from a client request, including an efficient readline method for reading data one line at a time. Servlet input stream class provides a stream to read binary data such as image, etc. from the request object. It is an abstract class. The get input stream method of servlet request interface returns the instance of the servlet input stream class. Servlet input stream SIN is the object equal to request.getInput string class. And these are the method, that is the readline method. Sublet output stream class provides a stream to write binary data into the response. It is an abstract class. The get output stream method of sublet response interface returns the instance of sublet output stream class. It may be get as sublet output stream out equal to response dot get output stream. And these are the methods like print, println, print boolean, print character, print float. So there are so many print methods which we use in sublet output stream class. The HTTP sublet class extends the generic sublet class and implements serializable interface. It provides HTTP specific methods such as doGet, doPost, doHead, doTrace, etc. It provides an abstract class to be subclass to create an HTTP sublet suitable for a website. A subclass of HTTP sublet must override at least one method, usually one of these. Like doGet if the sublet supports HTTP GET request, doPost for HTTP POST request, doPut for HTTP PUT request, doDelete for HTTP DELETE requests. Init and destroy to manage resources that are held for the life of the sublet. Get sublet info which the sublet uses to provide information about itself. Sublet HTTP sublet request interface. It extends the sublet request interface to provide request information for HTTP sublets. The sublet container creates an HTTP sublet request object and passes it as an argument to the sublet service method. The HTTP sublet request breaks a request down into passed elements such as request URI, query argument and headers. Various GET methods allow you to access different parts of the request. These are the methods of HTTP sublet request interface, that is get cookies, get date header, get header names, get path info, get context path, get session which returns the current session, get sublet path which returns the path of this request URL that calls the sublet. Now HTTP sublet response interface. Public interface HTTP sublet response extends the sublet response interface to provide HTTP specific functionality in sending a response. For example, it has methods to access HTTP headers and cookies. The sublet container creates an HTTP sublet response object and passes it as an argument to the sublet service methods, that are doGet or doPost. There are many methods in HTTP sublet request interface like add cookie which adds the specified cookie to the response, contains header which returns a boolean indicating whether the name response header has already been set, encode URL. HTTP session interface, it provides a way to identify a user across more than one page request or visit to a website and to store information about the user. The sublet container uses this interface to create a session between an HTTP client and an HTTP server. The session persists for a specified time period across more than one connection or page request from the user. A session usually corresponds to one user who may visit a site many times. The server can maintain a session in many ways such as using cookies or rewriting URLs. These are the methods of HTTP session interface: get ID, get creation time, get last access time, invalidate. Now we'll see what are the cookies. A cookie is a small piece of information that is persisted between the multiple client requests. A cookie has a name, a single value, and optional attributes such as comment, path, and domain qualifiers, a maximum age, and a version number. javax.sublet.http.cookie class provides the functionality of using cookies. It provides a lot of useful methods for cookies. These are the constructor and methods of the cookies. cookie constructor, that is the default constructor which creates a cookie, and the parameterized constructor, that is string name and string value, which constructs a cookie with a specified name and value. Except that there are methods public void set max age, it sets the maximum age of the cookie in seconds. Get name, it returns the name of the cookie. Get value, which returns the value of the cookie. Set name, which changes the name of the cookie, and set value, which changes the value of the cookie. So in this video, this is all about Servlet Lifecycle and Servlet API. Thank you.